So what I was saying was, not being soft with the Kadunka Chuds is like a new goal for me.
Yeah.
It's just a new goal because they have no problem saying the most anti-black shit they've ever said in their lives,
consistently.
and yeah, like degrading black people, being as vitriolic as possible. But then when you kirk out, all of a sudden now it's how could you talk about that? I can't believe you would be that. Then all of a sudden you're the racist in the situation. It's like, no, Sliv, like you. Why are you dishing it when you're not prepared to take it?
Exactly this. Like, you sit up here, you do the racism, the microaggressions, the macroaggressions, you deny the racism in and of itself. And then when you get checked about denying the racism, all of a sudden, I'm the racist for calling out the racism. How does that make sense?
It's like they don't realize that for the most part, we code switch to fit in so that everybody's comfortable, but we wild boys. We could do the wild shit if, you know what I mean?
If we wanted to, the dial could be switched all the way off.
Yeah.
Like
we grew up in the 80s, bruh.
Mm-hmm. There is no line that we won't cross.
And we grew up in the 80s and we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We survived.
We survived.
The lead poisoning, the secondhand smoke.
Yo,
Ronald Reagan dumping metric tons of booger sugar in our communities.
Yeah, right. We take that. We just walk back. Right? You know, when I would go to, I can't even call it summer camp, but like my church when I was growing up had just like daycare shit, and playing tag base was the asbestos wall, like where the wall where the asbestos was poking out. That was base tag. Like you had to grab onto that, and if you wasn't getting a full, so we survived that shit.
That's what you were rushing toward.
Yeah. that's what we were trying to get to, and not while we were running away from the other kid.
Right.
That is the cloth that we're cut from. So when you shake that hornet's nest, that's what you're shaking. That's what you're enticing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly.
Anyway, for everybody watching,
I'm only saying that because I feel like racism deserves my ire. Is all I'm saying. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So welcome. This is the second episode of the End of a Species podcast. I'm Jeff. We're here with Super Solid. We're here with Live to Be Great. You may know us if you are on TikTok, or if you saw us in the street and were like, "Are you that guy?" And I said, "Nah, I'm not that dude." Chances are I lied to you. But today we have a great topic. We're talking about the one, the only, the enigmatic, the director, the Medea, Tyler Perry, and this topic was born out of several conversations. Like you and I, Solid, we talked about this for like an hour, like maybe 4 months ago, and just the different critiques on Tyler Perry. Now, if you are a huge Tyler Perry fan, buckle up. This is gonna be pretty, but it ain't gonna be pretty. And then me and you, Liv, we was on the phone, and you just happened to throw a throwaway line like, "Yeah, I'm a fan of Tyler Perry." And I was like, "Oh, word? All right, let's, we throw down all the time, so let's throw down. Let's talk about it." So, Solid, I'm gonna start with you. Tell me just an intro of your overall outlook on Tyler.
Okay, so my youngest sister used to date this guy, right? We call him the Banfo, which is an acronym for the bitch ass from before. The Banfo at the time when my sister was like in high school, she was like madly in love with him, right? Like he was the guy, right? Like she was involved, she was enthralled with him. He was, you know, she was what he was all about, or he is what she was all about, right? And as she grew, as her palate changed, as she was exposed to new things, which is my brother-in-law, right? She just didn't need. She had no more need for him. Now, that's not to say bro wasn't talented. That's not to say that bro wasn't, you know, good for what he was good for. It's just she's moved on to something more sophisticated, right? I feel like black people are going through that experience with Tyler Perry. And so our palate has changed. We've grown, we've moved on. I believe that, you know, all media consumption, part of media consumption is being able to be in community with other people who have consumed that same media. I think for black people, that dynamic is amplified, like to the nth degree. If you think I'm lying, just think about what the opening week was like for Black Panther, right? Part of
Yeah.
how we consume media is to be in communion with each other. I think that's one of the big reasons why Tyler Perry initially had his draw, because this was a black thing. This was for black people. This was uniquely, you know, and it was Christian. And you know, love Jesus, you know. So it was a thing where if you was on that Tyler Perry, you could say a line from a Tyler Perry movie. You could say some shit like, "I know, whoop your ass," and then and then somebody next to you that's seen the same joke, they like, "Oh, I know what you're talking about," right? It was simplistic.
And if you didn't know,
right.
then
Now
you was out. You out the club.
oh, if you do, oh my bad.
Yeah. If you didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Like if you didn't know, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you didn't catch that. You know.
Right, right, right. Um, and so I see the utility of one uh, Tyler Bartholomew Perry, right? One what's it? What's his name? Tyler
Mhm.
Isaacs Perry. No, but I see his value. I see right. I The thing is, as time has passed, as um, our environment has changed, as Tyler Perry has grown, and as we have grown, right, or as Tyler Perry's wealth has grown, Tyler Perry's artistry has not, and that's my biggest gripe with Tyler Perry. He is not growing with us. He's doing the same thing that he did with the plays. He's doing the same thing that he did with um, what's the name of the jump? Diary of a Mad Black Woman. The only change that he's truly made that I can witness is he's moving closer to secularism.
Yeah.
I,
I can see that.
and I'm almost insulted because I feel like he says, um, I let him use the F word. This is groundbreaking Tyler Perry. He said the F word, right? You got the new joke, Beauty in the Black. Booty shots. I gotta why y'all not giving me my damn what's it called? The Golden Globe? Not Golden Globe. What's the name
The
of it?
Oscar.
Yeah, where my Oscar at? Booty shots. It's like, it's still the Tyler Perry of yore, just with curse words and booty clapping. It's not hitting for me.
How about
That's
you,
my
Liv?
syllogism.
Yeah. So
While you was telling that story, I was thinking about like 99, 2000. I was like seventh, eighth grade. And y'all remember them bootleg DVDs that we used to get from Walmart parking lot all the time? We would go grab them DVD and they had the horrible people be walking through the screen or whatever. I remember seeing my first Tyler Perry play on one of those, right? And it just became a thing. We would always look out for the Tyler Perry plays and all of that. And so I grew up with Tyler Perry. And it's interesting to me that even though I can agree with the points of him not necessarily growing with the Black community as a collective, he's grown with his base. When we look at Diary of a Mad Black Woman or Diary of a Black Woman, right? That was number one in 2005. Medea's Homecoming is number one in 2022. Right. So when we talk about the quality of the work that he's actually putting in, he is putting that work in. But I do believe that there's a underlying mission that he has to stay in tune with, and it has a lot to do with his growing and development. Like if you know about Tyler Perry, you know about the child abuse that he endured from his father. One of the reasons his name is Tyler Perry is because he wanted to distance himself from that abuse. And he talks about this in an interview with Oprah of how the imagination that he has in the creation of these characters specifically is because of that trauma. Because when he was getting abused, he would have to go to a different space. And that space in his mind cultivated, which again, with some people might have split some other personality disorder. But with Tyler Perry, it became a realm of creativity that he took something really negative and transitioned it to something positive. I think that what he is discussing is to a specific group of people, and his base, even though he may not have changed with the collective of black people, he continues to grow and change to be the voice of his base. He grew up in the Chitlin circuit coming through the South. You know, he's owned and prioritized and owned the rights of all of his work over the past 30 years. So I think that it's in that we look at the crux of the man and who makes the man, because a lot of it goes into who he is.
So what I'm hearing from both of you is like from Solid, it's almost like the Black community has moved on to other things and Tyler Perry has been left behind. Liv, you're saying that he has a base and he's grown it. Do you think the base that he's grown is the Black community?
Yeah, I think not even just the Black community, but more specifically for Black women. If you understand, like Tyler Perry, his first 10 plays and first 5 plays and first 5 movies were specifically to put to light the struggles of Black women and the strengths of Black women, right? And it's in that I think that he looks to prioritize specific aspects of the Black community. Now, which I do agree with Solid. I mean, there are other aspects that he can tap into and grow into, but he's specifically targeting a specific group of people.
You agree?
I don't agree that it's for Black women. I think Tyler Perry movies are for broke. I'm keeping it a bean. And I'm gonna tell you why. Think about who the protagonist is in the male protagonist in every Tyler Perry movie. Right? It's the surprise. It's the dirty cornrow. You feel me? Daddy's little girls. It was the broke trying to be a good dad. Right? It was Diary of a Mad Black Woman. It was the broke with the cornrows. That was secretly Shamar Moore. Right?
Them cornrows.
Divorce in the Black. It was the broke farm. It was like these movies are like are really a glorification of who I think Tyler Perry used to see himself as. I'm keeping it a bean, right? Because we do know he came from it. I hate to say got it out the mud, but Tyler Perry did get it out the mud, right? The constant saving of Black women that he has Black men do in these movies, right? I was watching Divorce in the Black and I was thinking for a second, I was like, yo, did Tyler Perry read about the Bechdel test? Like, is he gonna get it this time? Is the answer to all this woman's problems not gonna be a broke? And- nah, nah. There was a scene in the car. If for those of you who don't know about the Bechdel test is like basically these rules. There has to be two women, and they in the movie they have to have a conversation about something other than a man, right? These are the prerequisites, right? And so, um, Divorce in the Black got dangerously close to passing the Bechdel test, and it was even cooler when Megan Good's character says, I'm not with that right now. Now's not the time, right? Now's not the time. Why are you approaching me? Almost the next scene, now they're in the back of the pickup truck, and she trying to get some from the farm nigga and can't get. You see where I'm going with this? Um, the salaciousness when we talk about growth, there is no denying that Tyler Perry has been extremely successful, right? With that success, I mean, he's bought 330 acres. His studio is 330 acres long. I mean, like he's the reason why um, Atlanta is becoming the new Hollywood. Like we can't mince words about that. Like we can't pretend like that's not a reality, right?
I never even thought of it that way.
Yeah, I if I'm wrong, somebody correct me. Like Tyler Perry is the reason, right? And that hence the duality, right? Um because but what doesn't make sense to me is if he's doing so well, why isn't he hiring writers? He's still writing everything himself, right? There's so many woman writers in Atlanta. There are so many queer writers in Atlanta. Like the same people he wants to shove into his movies from his perspective, and he has no writers of the same ilk. None of his writers match the characters that he's putting in there. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make and really I feel like it's just this whole like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, economically, financially, cool, bro. Hats off to you. All right, but as far as my artistic palette goes, I just need new shit. I need better. I need more sophisticated, and I can't stay with the band folk. You know what I'm saying? Despite how big his glow up is, despite how much money he got, if he's not edifying, if he's not supplying me with something else, I can go to a Donald Glover and we can do a critical analysis, or we can do a movie analysis that will last the span of a year. I can go to a Jordan Peele. We're still doing video analysis. We're still doing movie analysis on Us, on Nope. That's 3 movies. Get Out, 3 movies, and we're still doing analysis on them. We're still picking up nuance and Easter eggs and things like that because it was complex. It was sophisticated. It was everything that a minstrel show is not. Right? It was everything other than haha, look at them, haha, look at them black people. Let's laugh at them for being so damn black. It Jordan Peele gives us, haha, that's funny, but it's funny because it's funny, and let's think about what the hell we watch. You feel me?
I don't disagree. I think though that they're different. I wouldn't compare Tyler Perry to like Big Mama and Martin Lawrence or Eddie Murphy when it comes to those types of minstrel shows. I do believe that My Dear, is born out of uh, his inability as a child to be able to save his mother. I think that the antagonist that you discuss in his movies is quite literally different aspects of his father, and that he couldn't be the hero then. So in his movies and in his videos now, he would like to, like, he paints himself as that hero, and his scripts, his plays, that's art, right? And in his art and in his craft, like there is a reason behind that art and that craft. And I think it gets to the crux of the man. When we're talking about just the creation of Medea, that was a fluke. That was a fluke. One of his plays, it was like 95, 96, when he was just picking up steam. And one of the woman that was supposed to play Medea just kind of backed out of the show. And last minute, they had to rewrite the script, rewrite some things, wrote in a couple of jokes, did some music. Boom, he got some ha-has. They finished out the week with Medea. By the end of the week, it was a packed house and everybody screaming for Medea. Medea wasn't born out of him trying to represent Black women. Medea was born out of his inability to save his mother. Medea was born out of those times when he was a child and he would be around with his mom on Fridays and they'd be playing cards and Black women would tell their stories. And when times would become hard and he would see women break down, he would see another woman step in and say a joke to be able to lighten the mood, right? To help endure. Understand this is in the 90s. You know, a lot of things were not, that's not 90s, in the early 80s, 70s.
I'm a clown, so I gotta. I'm a clown, so I gotta put that up just for a second. That's
disrespectful.
That's just me being crazy.
All
right.
Familiar.
All right, I'm gonna take it down. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just being dumb.
Yeah. So I think when we're talking about like the duality of Tyler Perry, a lot of the issues and problems that people have criticized him and his art is really just his own personal therapy. When you're talking about those stories that are being told, these are stories within our community. These are issues within our community: abuse, rape, poverty, right? The way these things impact men and how men harm women, and how we want to do better for ourselves in our community. And at the end of all of his movies, at the end of all of his plays, it's about 15 to 20 minutes that is consistent, where he has that self-diagnosis and therapy that he gives to the crowd, to the audience, people that are watching his videos and movies, his plays and movies. So I don't necessarily disagree. I just think that there's more to the art and to the craft and to the artist, which it's hard to really move away from that as him, because that was his therapy. That was his sense of expression. That's his art and his craft.
So this one's to you, Solid. Like when I think about Tyler Perry and I think about just general like Black movies, right? Movies for Black people. I think about a critique that I always have for the overall approach that Hollywood takes. And that critique is that it's very caricaturized. It's very stereotyped. It's very, like, if you think of movies that depict what Hollywood would say their take on the very first Black team of doing X, right? The racism that group encounters is always like over the top, like, you can't do this here, as opposed
Get out of my bathroom.
Yeah, like exactly that, as opposed to the stuff that we experience, which is people who say, "Oh, I love Black people." Hey, Solid, you're so or you know what? Let me see if this
you're
actually
so well spoken. I got a Black friend.
Liv, you're one of the good ones.
I still have that. You heard that, Liv? It's literally that, right? So it's not what we experience isn't the caricature of it. It's the microaggressions, the denial, like you were saying before, Liv. And when I look at Tyler Perry movies, if I have that same critique, I think I have that critique that I have is for the Hollywood approach as a whole, not just Tyler Perry. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that the very okay. Now this is what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna contradict myself a little bit. Okay, a lot of the time writers just do not trust the audience enough to leave things up to interpretation, right? You, me, and Liv and I spend a lot of time online arguing with Kadunkachuds. These are people who are not good at nuance, right? These people don't understand nuance, that right. So for good reason, Hollywood doesn't really trust the audience to pick up on those subtleties, right? So you will see a lot of blatant the showing of like, okay, no, look, this is a racist, right? This breaking down Barney style, because if they don't telegraph it that way, the audience might not understand what's going on, and you have to remember that at the end of the day, movies, Hollywood in general, are about making money, and so if an audience doesn't feel like they can really get on board, or if they feel dwarfed, if they feel self-conscious because your movie was too highbrow, right? Sometimes they just don't, right? And I would almost be forgiving of Tyler Perry's telegraphing, right? His extreme caricatures. I would almost be forgiving if we didn't have a Jordan Peele. What I realized when Get Out came out, what I realized when Black Panther came out, right, was that we were yearning for highbrow. We were yearning for nuance. There was an entire demographic of Black intellectuals who wanted to be entertained intellectually. And so I'm at this duality. I'm in this purgatory where there's just this long history of, and I'm guilty of it too, right? Like I've said on my live a lot of times, my media diet is mostly smut, right? I'm watching Pop the Balloon or Find Love. I'm watching all the basketball, all the wives. If the show has the word wives in it, I'm watching. All right. Real Housewives of the Bakery. You know what I mean? Real Cheese Wives of Wisconsin. I'm watching all of it, right?
So somebody's gonna watch this or listen to this podcast and take notes, and there's going to be a Real Cheese Wives watch.
Oh,
My words. That's gonna be a thing.
Real Cheese Wives of Wisconsin. That's the move, right? But I could almost it's this duality. It's this reductivity, this regressiveness, this blaxploitation being repeated over and over and over and over again, and then we keep getting locked into not getting the type of media that we yearn for because we take what we are given, right? And or or we wait for some highbrow to come along and give us something that's and breadcrumb us, right? Jordan Peele come by and drop 3 hot ones, and then just we never see the again. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's hurry up, Jordan, right? I had a caveat, and I can't remember what it was, because this coffee is a very special coffee.
But Jim, I do agree with you. I think, but I think it goes back to the point I've been making this entire time. It's about the man, because like when we look at Tyler Perry and his rise around the Chitlin circuit, he started funding his own plays. He would go around at his plays, and he would have, hey, subscribe to my mailing list, go to my website. And so what he started to do was quite literally take people that were getting $10 tickets, and he would have 1 million people been subscribed by 2000 and by 2002, 2003. 1 million people that subscribed is on his emailing list. When he says he has a show in Chicago or Chattanooga, that goes out, and all of a sudden that show is sold out before he even shows up.
Yeah.
And so because he had those humble beginnings, because his first shows failed, like he has always had to be the architect that perpetuates, that creates the environment, that does everything. And when you've done that for so long within the society, it's hard to kind of let go of that realm. And I think this is one of the control issues, which I do agree with you, Super Solid, is a knock against Tyler Perry, and I amplified to get to this platform to uplift other marginalized voices. But to the other part of that is that white supremacy exists. It's real and it's alive all throughout Hollywood. 7% of the population makes up 98% of the media historically, you know? And so when we're talking about what makes up the vast majority of media, when you look at Diary of a Mad Black Woman, they're supposed to do 5 million in box office based on all Hollywood theaters. It's not going to sell. They said black people don't go to the movie theaters and all of these things. But it did 50 million, right? So this goes to one of the issues is, one, navigating racism and white supremacy in Hollywood while owning the rights to everything that you do. The other part of it is understanding never turning your back on the people that got you there, right? On the characters that were created and cultivated to talk about and discuss the lived reality of a specific group of people, you know? And it's not, and I'm not going to deny, Solid, I don't believe that it's for every black person. I don't believe black people are entirely a monolith. I believe that Langston Hughes criticized Zora Neale Hurston, said that she spoke for darkies, you know?
Whoa. Hey, yo.
The NAACP boycotted Amos and Andy and The Color Purple because they didn't like the depiction of black men. It wasn't Amos and Andy was 1952, 1953. They got boycotted, and you didn't see another black person on TV, a black cast at all until what? The early 70s, late 60s. You know, and then we really weren't even represented until Michael hit MTV. And so I think in navigating and understanding the realm of TV and media, and having to cut through that red tape, House of Pain is a phenomenal example of that. When it comes to House of Pain, usually to get syndicated and get through those loops, you have to do 10 episodes, and then if you get lucky, you get another 24, and then you build after that. But you know, they wanted to take control of his work. Then he said no, so he ended up funding the entire thing himself, right? And so to protect black people, to create a space for black philanthropy and black opportunities, he's had to move in a particular way. So I think that the criticisms about him, I think, are valid, but I think it's more nuanced because of the level of white supremacy that persists in Hollywood.
Once you get to that mountaintop, though, like, sure. So when he starts, he has struggles with having to fund stuff himself, having to navigate this whole world. But then you get to that mountaintop.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a responsibility there now to change your style, to change your message, to make it, to refine it, right?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Yeah, go ahead, Simon.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no. Listen, he can still make the same movie. He can still make dark skin abuses woman, light skin saves her. He can still make that movie, right? But he can do so with a team of writers that are going to tell, right, that aren't going to just do these exposition dumps in the middle of the movie. He can do so without making a movie in 8 days. He made Acrimony in 8 days, to the point where my wife and I were in the movie theater and I shouted out. I take the movie theater experience very seriously, probably more serious than I should. I shouted out in the middle of the movie. I said, "Blue screen," because it was so obvious. I notice blue screens. I notice green screens in all movies. Like everybody does it, right? I know when it happens in my favorite movies, the Matrix. I know, but it was so obvious and so poorly done that it shocked me, and I had to exclaim blue screen because it was just like, and there was no reason for that. There was no need for that. Now, does he as an artist have a responsibility to change his style? No, no. Does he have an obligation? Or does he have an obligation to change his style? No. Does he have an obligation to give a, a higher quality of product in his style? Yes, because the consumer deserves better, right? Like they always will. There are ways that he's cut costs by building his studio. Um, he cut costs. It was a genius move. He can make any move, any scene he wants on his lot, right? Quick and fast, right? He can do it. But because he's rushing through production, because he's rushing through editing, because he's just picking up a script off of his writer's table, where the writer's table is covered in only scripts that he's written, right? We're seeing we're seeing products that are worse than Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And I hate to come back to Acrimony. How you gonna have Diary of a Mad Black Woman and then come out with Acrimony and it's just Mad Black Woman? It just wasn't no diary. But um, there's no reason why Divorce in the Black. There's no reason why. What's the one with Kelly Rowland?
No, I can't think of it.
No, I can't think of it either. I'll look it up.
Mea culpa. Right? There's no reason why these new films and these new television shows should be worse than the ones he first started off making. There's just no excuse for that. As far as production value, as far as the writing goes, if I'm sitting there watching your film and then you stop all momentum so that you can update me as to what's happening in the film, right? Me and my friend are riding along in the car, and instead of talking about, right, we stop talking and we go, yeah, so are you with that guy that's next to that dude and doing that thing? Yeah, I went to go see him the other day, and this is what he told me, and this is where we were, and that's how and now we're up to date on the story. The exposition dumps are they break up the pacing of the movies. Like they're gross. They're really gross. It's something that an amateur would do, and Tyler Perry is not an amateur. You know what I mean? These are the things that I'm talking about. Like he could hire editors, he could hire writers, a writer's room that can like get that shit fixed up and still make the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I agree. I think that the Tyler Perry and I love his rise because he came off of he found his rise on the shoulders of giants coming in through the Chitlin Circuit. It's really where he got his rise from. And I think that he's entering a level where his job and his obligation, to your point, Solid, is to pave the way for the next, for somebody that's going to surpass him. He's not paving that way. And I think there are a lot of creative Black writers, playwrights out here that have the juice, right? And he has the reach, and he and his infrastructure has the reach to be able to sift through and find that one, right? And to have that one be the one to stand on his shoulders and to continue to move forward and break ground in this media production. Because I think it's bigger than just his movies and the audience that he speaks to. I think it's a direct assault onto the racism and white supremacy that has permeated the media and news consistently. Going into the next 4 years, Tyler Perry Studios, his production, can quite literally have the ability to combat the negatively charged narratives around Black people that we're gonna see be perpetuated, right? And I think he has an obligation to do that. Now, does he have an obligation? He also has an obligation to his audience, to the people that got him there, to the people that still support him, the people that have been there over the past 30 years, that have quite literally given their dollars, their views, their love to him and his support. So I think it's twofold, and this goes into the duality of what it is to be Tyler Perry.
So I'm looking through Tyler Perry's, I guess, works, his movie list. One of the ones that jumps out at me is Why Did I Get Married? And Why Did I Get Married Too? And that, I mean, I'm thinking about like the elevation of the work. Love it or hate it, that movie is very, like, every character in that movie is an archetype. There's I remember when I first saw it, the character development for me wasn't like, it was like, hey, this is the person who's not confident. This is the person who's overbearing. And so, like, even from the beginning, you have an opportunity to take these four couples that are married and show like a tapestry of like, marriages are not that, right? Like, it's not like you work too much and that's the end of the, and then comparing that to, I know we mentioned Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Again, same thing. I think that's where my question about the responsibility goes is, do we want to see in the coming works from Tyler Perry more of a well-rounded character that shows like, hey, I mean, again, Hollywood gives you archetypes. That's the thing. But Black people are not that, right? The Black diaspora, when we showcase our stuff, you go as far back as, like, you mentioned Langston Hughes, but just the poetry and the writings of everything in Black history has never been, my mom was just mad all the time because she was so tired. There's so much color and so much development. And for me, I know that my critique for Tyler Perry could be the critique of Hollywood, but maybe I'm just being too hard on Black media. But I feel like I want to see something there that is, I mean, to use your word, solid, is something more, something over and above what would be expected. And I think to myself sometimes, like, that maybe that's my own anti-Blackness because I don't hold it to the same standard, but I love it. You know what I mean?
Right.
When I think of Richard Wright, I love it. Like, if you read Black Bull, right? When I think of Maya Angelou, I love, like, there's a difference, right?
Okay. So I am going to push back a little bit. Because first of all, Why Did I Get Married? Part 1. I told you that's my shit. I told you I love a good, I don't have to think ass movie. I do. And I'd be lying to you if at the time when I was watching it, I wasn't trying to insert myself into each character and say, like, maybe that's kind of what I got, You just mentioned some timeless works, right? You know what else is a timeless work? Green Eggs and Ham.
Bruh.
Am I lying?
You're not lying.
What year is it?
When did that come out?
When did Green Eggs and Ham?
Let's do a Google real quick. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
When did that first get published? 1960.
1960. 60 years.
And still, yeah.
60 some odd years later.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be profound to be a classic, right? But if we would have gotten green eggs and ham and no Lorax, you see where I'm going with this? Like, if you continuously give me no shit, right? If you continuously give me new stuff, and I notice a point where consistently the quality of the new stuff you're giving me is worse than the initial. You know what I mean? So like, and you mentioned what do we want to see from Tyler Perry? I'm good. I'm good. I got what I needed from Tyler Perry, and now and it's I got other shit.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
That's actually kind of cold.
But
But I think
at
it's
this
true.
point, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I think that's true though. I think that it's a space where, like for example, as a retired basketball player, right? I do believe that it's a part of my responsibility to continue to pave the way and give knowledge and expertise to the next generation, to cultivate a new era of people. I believe that's the obligation when you're looking at being that CEO of a company. You're always looking for that one to continue the legacy, right? And right now, who does Tyler Perry have with his span, with his reach? Right? Who does he have under his wing that's creating that next legacy? That's that next one, right? What could Jordan Peele do in combination with Tyler Perry, right? Matter of fact, what could somebody like Trevor Noah do?
You about to see Solid explode.
Jordan Peele Tyler Perry collab is unhinged.
But listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. You give Jordan Peele, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
The black card, right? To go out and create, right? To go out and create. To go and say, listen, I have built this thing. Now go out and be the best that you can be. What do you think? What do you think he's going to produce?
He's going to make listen, with $1 million budget, and we hear $1 million and we're like, ooh, right? Mm-hmm. But $1 million in California is a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah, that's true.
With $1 million budget, Jordan Peele gave us a literal neoclassic on the dynamic or the experience of white people, negrophilia, and white liberals. Right? The racism that comes from white liberals. I mean, Jiminy the fuck cricket. Like, my man's was on it. You get at Bama a big budget. You get at Bama a MCU budget.
That's the whole point I'm making. Is that's my biggest gripe with Tyler Perry, right? It's not that he had to do what he had to do over the past 30 years. I understand what he creates. I understand the audience that he caters to. I also understand the man and the duality of why he sticks to the narratives that he sticks to, because it's a form of therapy and it's his art. At the same time, we are entering a space where we're in one of the most racially charged times since the Civil Rights Movement. Okay, we live in a society of propaganda and anti-blackness that demeans and vilifies Black people. As a collective, we saw Black people coalesce and raise over $900 billion for Kamala Harris on her run, right? Tyler Perry has the ability and the funding, right, and the resources and the people and the power to quite literally combat white supremacist propaganda in media in all its forms, right? And I think that's my biggest gripe, and it's the Super Solid's point. Like, I'm cool with you. We got what we got what you are. We know who you are. You're gonna continue to do that. Listen, until your face, until your base, until your crowd. People like me, I grew up on them. I'm never going. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be my dog. At the same time, the Black community does need more. We need more because just heavy. Heavy is the crown. Heavy is the head that bears the crown. Right.
Yeah.
And right now, how many people in American history, right? When it comes to media, you got people like Denzel, Carl Robeson, right? I mean, Paul Robeson, right? That icons. Samuel L. Jackson have not achieved what he has achieved. They have not done what he has done, but they are icons, right? Viola Davis, Kerry Washington, right? You have Halle Berry. You know, that these are icons. I know, and I had to really Halle is my thing, and I'm gonna go Stacey Dash too, just because, and Megan Fox, Megan Good, I'm sorry. Megan Good. Okay? Because listen, these are all my crushes.
What's going on right now? What is happening?
These are my crushes, so they automatically get the number one spot. But more to the point.
Hold on. Well, then we got to rewind because Megan Good, that's
no. Listen.
My cousin.
Matter of fact, if you're watching this, Megan, I'm here. Hey, but no.
I'm sorry, but that's my Coretta Scott. You know what I mean?
But like, and the thing about people like that aren't even in the media world, but just Black icons that haven't achieved what he has achieved. Martin Luther King, with all of his wealth and with all of the resources he had. Malcolm X, like Tyler Perry has achieved more from an economic and a political and a power standpoint than really anybody in since what I can't even think of anybody. And so when you have that level of power and that level of influence, like we need to ensure that we're protecting Black people, that we are advocating for the voices of all Black people. You know,
I'm not gonna speed past how you just dropped Stacey Dash in there, though. I'm just gonna let that.
I get it. I get it. Not today, though. Not today.
Forever.
Thank you.
Forever.
As if.
Sixth grade me forever.
Yeah, but like, I'm a side eye a little bit. You see what I'm saying? I'm side eyeing, but I get it, but I'm side eyeing.
I get it. Well, yeah, like bombastic side eye. Because I don't know if you've seen any of her latest work. I don't need
to see it. I saw her early work. It doesn't matter.
There you see, and that's where we
the latest work features hats that are red, yo.
Yeah.
No,
you didn't know about that?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yo, we ruining a light. You know what? Turn on the light in your whip because I can't see your face right now. And
I got the lights on, but they dim.
All right, because I wanted to see your like literal reaction to that. I didn't know you didn't know that. I thought you were sidestepping that.
No, why would y'all tell me that?
You didn't know.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's
years, my man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
This ain't like no Lark Voorhees type situation where Lark Voorhees is just going through like a
Uh-oh. I think we lost Solid for a second.
Oh no, that ain't true.
Hold on, I'm gonna pause it. Oh. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
no.
Yo, he's looking it up and
no.
It's worse than Two Girls, One Cup.
Oh no!
You don't want to see it?
No! No! Bro! No!
Yeah.
What is this?
That's what it is.
What is this?
I actually feel bad that it happened on this.
Y'all know when the kid finds out that there is no Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right there. I'm right.
No.
It's been 8 years, young. And we talk about aggressively anti-black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why I said what I said.
People.
It be your own people.
Be your own fucking people, yo.
All right. It's shameless plug time because it's shameless plug time. And shameless plug time means boom. 4GP by Solid. Let's talk about merch and how you can support the podcasts and the lives and the YouTubes and all the websites. And boy, we got some cool stuff coming up. But like for right now, we have got merch for you to like peruse and buy and rock, so you can show that you're rocking the platform, supporting the content, while Liv's reality is like shattered.
That's why she looked like that today versus that she did in 2016, because the white supremacy makes her age poorly. She went back to the left.
Yo, the amount of years that he just went through just now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh wait, let me move us back over here.
So listen, y'all, we still have the hoodies. Okay, we still got that flannel. Do me a favor, Jeff. Click on that flannel real quick.
This one,
because this is my favorite, and not a single person has purchased this one yet. If we scroll down just a little bit there, you can see the logo on the back of the flannel. I mean, come on now, that's fire. You can get you a red and black lumberjack with the hat to match. Well, you can't get the hat to match. I just wanted to finish Biggie's line. But in my house, all right, in the Solid household, we are notorious flannel around the waisters. Okay.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Around the waisters?
We're flannel around the
waisters.
We
got you wasn't lying.
Yeah.
We got the red and black Johns.
We got the red and black. And the reason why I'm big on that, it's just like a house full of Bill and Ted's over here. We just wrap the red and black flannel around the waist. That's just what we do. But that's the one that I really want to call people's attention to, because I feel like it is so dope, right? And there's so many style options you can use a red and black flannel for. It just elevates the outfit just a little bit, especially if you got you some leather on, like a leather jacket. You know what I mean? If you want to go for a grunge look, put that red and black flannel around your waist. It's a wrap. Also, we got the phone cases, right? For literally every type of phone that is post 2012. And they're affordable prices. You know what I mean? They're the same ones. So if you go into accessories,
that's cool.
Yeah.
100%. So we got iPhone and Android is up here. That's perfect.
First of all, why is Android even up there?
Bro, because
I didn't want to alienate any consumers, but I'm just gonna say you and I both know which one is the superior phone case, is all I'm gonna say.
Very much so. I concur. And of course, if you want to let me move this around a little bit. Bop 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 bop. And we have also End of a Species merch.
Hey,
what I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna highlight any products today that you could use to support the podcast. I am gonna say that coming this week, we will have a new line. The Bob and Rose 6 line will premiere at the end of this week. And so anybody who's been looking for that, there is something really special, because my birthday is imminent. It is in 13 days. We're celebrating my 45th birthday. And for that, I want to do some stuff for the proletariat, which is what 4TP stands for. But I 100% want to make sure that that I have some fun stuff for the audience to take part in while we do our B-Day celebration. In the interim, you can support End of a Species by going to the merch store. But like I said, the Bob and Rose 6 line will be coming and will be imminent, along with some other fun stuff, Jeff's birthday fun stuff. With that, does anybody have any final words? Like, I think we put Tyler through the ringer, and
I think this is going to shed light on Tyler Perry, so people view him differently. It shows the duality of the man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Any final words?
We love Tyler Perry. Like we love the band foe. You know what I'm saying? I love the band foe. I just can't be with him no more. Not when my new man treats me so good. You know what I'm saying? When Donald Glover gives me Mr. and Mrs. Smith and Atlanta, he take me shopping.
Listen,
yeah,
I had to get my passport for Donald Glover. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, I think Tyler Perry is gonna see this, right? I'm gonna call it right now. He's gonna see this, and he's gonna hit me up, and he's gonna be like, "Yo, Liv, you for the proletariat and in the species, I need y'all." And then he's gonna bring us in. Tyler Perry, I know you watching. I know you are. I know you are. Listen. We are here, right? We are here to help expand the brand. We are here to help our community. Let us be a part of the mission, Tyler. Okay,
Not me. I'm one of them highbrow Negroes you was talking about.
Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me? Let me just be honest. Let's be honest right here, right now on In the Species. Tyler Perry comes to you and says, "Soup and salad, soup and salad, a $10 million budget for you. I need you to go create your vision."
Oh, he gonna give me the money?
Yeah.
You gotta check in.
How much creative liberty do I have?
Full autonomy.
Except Medea gotta be. Hold on. Medea gotta be in that, John.
I'm gonna sit Medea down, and Medea's gonna be next to Auntie Wiggs, and we're gonna see a real black woman next to a representation of a black woman, and we're gonna we're just gonna let that be that. We're gonna let the juxtaposition speak for itself.
All right. On that note, everybody like this, comment, let us know what you think, subscribe, go to endofaspecies.com, go to 4TP by Solid, show support, and we'll see you guys next time.